Royale to drop into in 2021 is a tough
Are
call,
you serious?
But let me make a case for my favorite.
They're
Apex
reviewing
Legends.
Apex Legends
Since
in
its
2020.
surprise launch in
Wait a second,
2019, Apex
what?
has grown and evolved.
Yeah, I'm making a video on IG and just reviewed Apex. It's got over 200. It's like 200,000 views. Wait, what? Fuse? Hold up. Wait a second. Fuse is getting a buff, ladies and gentlemen. And he has the lowest win rate of all Legends in Apex Legends. Hold on. Okay. Wait. I got to switch it up. Today, I was going to review this Apex Legends review by IGN, who just a week ago took a look at the game like a year later. And I'm very excited to check it out and see what they have to say and see whether I agree or not. But there's some news that struck me as even more interesting and more impactful for you guys. This video was sponsored by EA. I'm a part of the Game Changers program, and I wanted to bring you all some in-depth stuff. So if you like knowing what characters are best in Apex, and if you like knowing which characters you should be playing, this is a good video for you. Also, if you want to learn about balance from someone who's been in the game industry, been basically in those esports balance discussions on how to change Legends, take their win rates from different places, how to adjust their abilities, what the meta looks like, then I'm a great resource for that for you as well. So I hope you consider staying around. The other day, 2 days ago, Apex Legends News put out this article saying that one of the devs, Daniel Klein, has actually mentioned that Rampart and Fuse are the lowest Legends in the game. Now, we knew Rampart was, but we didn't know Fuse. And so I want to go into the actual reading of this post because it kind of went around the Apex Legends community. And I want to see what Daniel said and why that is. Because a lot of us said, Fuse is fun. I like Fuse. But honestly, where is Fuse? Like, is he powerful? I thought he could maybe join the meta. I was very, very wrong. Very wrong about Fuse, at least at the start. We'll see how it goes. So, the question just an average guy 20 asks is, I'm curious, how does Fuse's win rate, encounter rate, etc. look like? He's certainly fun to use, but is he OP, weak, balanced according to your data? Also, how is Rampart holding up? I'd wager her win rate is still at the bottom of the barrel and could definitely use a spicy power-up. Now, this is 2 days ago, and I want to give you guys a story at the end of something that's very important to this lesson, of Legends that have come out like Rampart and Fuse, and what ends up happening that I've seen in my life, and maybe what can change with Fuse if they get this buff right. And that's what I'm going to explain at the end. But right now, Daniel Klein, lead game designer of Respawn, he says Rampart's the second lowest in our win rate data across all skill buckets. The only one below her is Fuse. Okay, we have some plans for him, but nothing 100% yet. But yeah, he didn't come in super strong like we wanted. That's actually very interesting. So they wanted Fuse to be a very strong Legend at the gate, which to me is a very smart thing when you're releasing Legends. It has to do with the story I'm going to tell you guys in a second, but it also is important because I feel that Fuse was a Legend that was not intentionally very strong at the start. And I had conversations in terms of my testing with Fuse that made it seem like Fuse could just be, it's not about really being strong. It's about just being a Legend to have fun. And every Legend is going to bring something different, be a different play style. So the fact that they said they wanted him to be strong is actually something I was not aware of. That's news to me, and I really do appreciate that from Respawn. I think that that's the way we need to be putting Legends out. OP Legends are better because you can always nerf down. Okay, it's still very hard to predict how strong a character will be unless they have meaningful mobility. Octane, Horizon. Which brings me into a brand new meta conversation that we're going to need to be talking about as well. Octane. We've got to be careful not to fall victim to mobility creep as well. The more general mobility there is, the less fun in the game becomes for everyone because you just can't hit people. This is why we're removing some of that power from Horizon. We're just reducing how quickly you can wriggle back and forth as you go up her gravity lift to make her tracking her a little easier. And then Octane's pretty trackable in my opinion, but we need to hit him a little bit. He's become extremely dominant to no one's surprise, so we'll need to shave a little power off. I think Octane, it's not a surprise that he's become dominant. However, I will say that I didn't think Octane's dominance would reach this far. In fact, if you don't believe me and you don't believe him and you think Octane's still just fun, you don't expect to see him in the pro meta, let me take you to a clip. I did a little research with the biggest streamer in Apex Legends and one of the most known, well-known players and most accomplished esports players, Imperial Hal. He had this to say about a new lineup that he was trying. Go ahead and listen to this.
We can use it to rotate even quicker, like right away. And I can use my stim to like loot faster and even potentially even get more loot off spawn before we have to leave early, which is like just a couple of reasons why like we want to try Octane. But we're not playing Octane Rev. We're playing Octane Gibby Bloodhound.
We popped off first game. We pop off now.
We're gonna try it. We can use it to
We're
rotate
gonna
quicker,
try
like,
it. The words from him, we're gonna try it. So clearly this conversation is happening at high level, and it goes with the stats of what Octane is being described as from the developer side as well. The stats back up that Octane is actually overperforming in a pretty heavy way, and they're actually looking to add some nerfs to him, potentially decreasing the efficiency or the amount of time that he's able to basically taking away the efficiency of his stem. So you're having to take a bigger penalty. You might be able to go a little faster, but you might have to take a little bit of a health penalty more. This is something that's speculative. They haven't figured that out yet, but it seems like that's what they're aiming for, which is interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out. Let's get back to it, just because I know a lot of you were like, whoa, Octane, really? Okay. I think I found a reasonably fun, neutral way of doing so. I'm currently thinking about increasing the health cost for his stem, but letting you stem again much sooner. There's currently a 3 to 4 second delay between the old stem running out and you being able to stem again. This is kind of a buff if you look at just the speed at which you move, but taken together with the increased health cost, it'll allow you to drop your health real low, real fast. I always thought stem's health cost was a fun way to pay for power with life that was tuned too softly to matter. Now, I agree with that completely. And I think this leads us to a bigger conversation that I want to get in towards the back half of this video, which is, what did we miss with Fuse? What happened with Fuse? And does this Octane thing kind of sneak up on us in a way that we didn't understand? Fuse was released in a way where a lot of people got excited about the continual process of throwing grenades at people, throwing the ult at people, but it didn't actually impact him the way that they thought. In fact, he was not even close to overpowered. Pros did not use him. New players failed with him in comparison to others, and you look at the mobility of legends that succeeded, and that's what typically can easily identify a legend that will be successful. Any legend with mobility ends up being harder to hit, covers more distance over an average, and will, on average, win more engagements typically, because hitting players is the key to winning an engagement. If you have harder times hitting players when they have easier times hitting you, that ends up being an average win rate. Now, we could look at Octane over the past, right? And Octane's big change hasn't been his stem. His big change has been his jump pad, the mobility. What was Hal talking about just now? The jump pad, the mobility. So the question is this the right way to think about it in terms of, well, Octane's jump pad just became this huge rotation tool that now we're using instead of potentially Race Portal. So his stem should go. Is it that the stem was powerful all along? Probably. The encounter rate for Octane was probably very, very high, because even at a low level, movement, just pressing Q, doing nothing to get the movement, you just run faster. That scales from beginner players who just play the game, harder to hit him, to higher level players who know how to use it really, really well. So Octane's always going to have good stats, in my opinion, just with his kit, right? But did this push him over the edge just for high level, or was that stem just now compounded with the fact that the ability to move got even greater with the jump pad, and those two together now forces us to look at the stem again? It's really interesting. They've got a kind of a difficult decision, but here's what I want to know. I'll link this thread in the comments below, into the description, so you guys can take a look. You can see what you like. And I love having these conversations, honestly. I really love having these conversations with you guys, because it helps you to open up the way designers are thinking about the game and giving you clues on who to play next. In my opinion, you want to start playing Fuse right now. You want to start getting better at Fuse. Rampart, a different story. I know Gaming Merchant, he loves his Rampart. I love Rampart too. But I want to talk to you about a very quick case study as to why you need to bring legends together. Now, there's a champion, a god that came out in Smite, and his name was Ravon. And in fact, when I played Smite, and I made this video called OP Gods are good for Smite. Now, this was one of the first videos I ever made demonstrating that when you release a legend, you actually end up, look at the cute art, right? Look at that. When you release a legend powerful, you actually end up not only increasing the value of that legend for your community, but you end up increasing the longevity of that legend's impact across all scenes, earlier, middle, and of course the highest of levels. And Ravon came out very, very afraid in terms of a design to be too OP, and therefore was bad. And it took Ravon 8 months to get back up. If you compare that to Rampart, wow, gods, legends with the name R. Watch out. You better come out buff, apparently. Rampart has now almost been on the same trajectory of not being able to be a high win rate legend, a legend that does well, a legend that's used in competitive, and came out very, very weak. And I think this is why they said, Fuse, we intended to come out strong. And so the levers that we're constantly seeing pulled, you don't really know what's going to make a legend better. But I do know that what Apex and what Respawn are doing or attempting to do is to mitigate that possibility of Fuse becoming just a legend no one thinks about for the next year and hopefully buffing him soon. And also showing that since it took 8, 10, 12 months of Ravon being nobody played him, no skins purchased, no value in the community, no art, no nothing to just increase Apex Legends' appeal and add value, it was a wasted opportunity. And so now we learned that this is what we need to be looking at. The conversation happening at Apex and Respawn is great. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I also think you guys need to start playing Fuse right now. Let me know what you think about the upcoming Octane buffs, the Fuse information, and of course everything going on in Apex Legends balance. And if you learned a little something, let me know in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. We got more great stuff coming. As always, never give up, never stop gaming. I'll see you all next time.